Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to tonight's presentation. This is an opportunity or a business presentation to show you the immense potential that we have in our opportunity. And I'm going to introduce myself and tell you all about it as we go along. I would like to welcome all the guests and all the distributors, people who are already in the family. This is a family on a mission to make the world a healthier and happier place. My name is Dr. Esther Zanambasi. I'm trained as a medical doctor. And I just want to say this little caption before I carry on. If all of you who are here have come to have a look at a way to make money, I'd like you to think about why you want to make money, because as Nelson Mandela said, money won't create success. The freedom to make money will. After that, think as we go through this presentation, why you would like to make some money. Yes, my name is Dr. Esther Zanambasi, and I'm in this picture with Dr. Edward Nambasi. He is my husband. We joined Neolife together a few years back. I saw the opportunity and I told him that because we are married, we would start together. I think that was the best decision I made, because we have really, really benefited from this. We are the proud parents of 3 children who are now adults, although when we first saw the business, they were small, and the 3rd one arrived after we had started the business. So yes, both of us are trained as medical doctors, very, very passionate about real health. And I'll explain as I go along what I mean by that. Dr. Edward Nambasi is an obstetrician. I trained as a general practitioner. I did not want to specialize. I could have done anything, but because of my convictions, I see a human being as a total person, not compartmentalized, okay? So I focused most of my years on HIV because I felt that that's where I could make the greatest impact. And that's because my original dream was actually to study something different, physiology, biochemistry, and specialize in human nutrition. So for those of you who know me, you will begin to understand why I'm very, very passionate about nutrition. To me, it makes sense that it's important. Okay, then I've talked about finances, and this hopefully is what we are going to show you how to change your finances. And many of us are hoping, if we are not employed, that we will get employed. Well, I have good news for you. If you would like to look at this opportunity as a way to employ yourself so that you become your own boss, it's a wonderful way. And just listen up as we go along. And it all starts with a vision. And it is so crucial to have that vision, which is simply a dream with a plan. And that's what we have. It also starts with a good question. Why? Why would you do this? And for me, WHY stands for what hurts you. What hurts you? What would get you so moved that you would choose to do something different? So in this family called Neolife, we have a mission, and that is to give everyone the power to live healthier and happier lives. And our purpose, also known as our vision, is to end the trend of poor health and financial stress. Now, I personally believe that this is a God-given opportunity, and it works on the method of network marketing. So for those of you who don't know what network marketing is, it is what I call the original form of marketing, also known as word of mouth marketing. So here are 5 good reasons. First of all, it works only if you help other people. Secondly, it provides great wealth. Great wealth. Thirdly, it teaches you to overcome obstacles. And then fourthly, it forces you to face your fears. A lot of people have a lot of fears. When you come to this family, you'll quickly learn that you cannot live in fear, because where there is fear, there is no love. And the first thing you have to do is to help other people, which means you have to love other people. And then fifthly, it allows you to love more, exactly what I have talked about. So how does it work, and why network marketing? Well, first of all, a lot of people get all sorts of ideas that it is a pyramid. This is not a pyramid scheme. And it is not even a get-rich-quick scheme. So when you get involved, you need to know that it is a commitment for the long haul. Now, the difference between a pyramid and what we do is that in a pyramid scheme, there are no products. They might not even be a service, or they might pretend that there is something. Pyramids are not regulated, and they generally collapse very quickly in under 2 years. And so that you are clear, pyramids are illegal. So when I was first introduced to Near Life by the person who came to find out whether we wanted to do something and whether we had a dream, my first question was, is it legal? That is a very, very important criterion. Now, with network marketing, it has products, it is regulated by the Direct Sales Association, and it is always legally registered in whatever market it happens to be in. And also longevity. You have to look out for longevity. So what is it? It is actually a system of moving product from a manufacturer to the consumer, cutting out the middle inflating systems such as massive warehousing, reps or representatives, marketing reps, advertising, okay? All those are cut out, and you get products straight from the manufacturer through the system that has been established straight to yourself as a consumer. Now, we'll show you that everybody can be a consumer, and we want as many people as possible to be consumers. But I want to say it upfront now that only about 20% of people will actually do the business. The rest of the people, 80%, are happy to be consumers, and they just need to choose the price that they want to buy their products at. Okay, so the keys to building wealth include distribution of goods and services. There has to be a global reach. There has to be leverage, and leverage simply means that you work within a system so that you can all benefit of each other's effort. The products have to be consumable, unique, and of a high quality. And the business system should be easily teachable. And you'll find that our business ticks all those boxes, absolutely ticks all the boxes. Now, timing, there couldn't be a better time. We've just come through a phase in the history of the world where people suddenly have woken up to the fact that they need to take greater responsibility for their health and their finances. So timing is perfect. Then why network marketing? Furthermore, longevity. When you look for a company, please make sure that the company has been in business for at least 10 years. Also, there has to be field leaders, and the founder have to be in such a way that they have experience. So Neolife has been in business for 65 years. We shall clock 66 years this year in August. And then the company has to actually have leading edge products, and the research has to be uniquely leading edge. We have a scientific advisory board. In fact, I like to say the scientific advisory board, which comprises of scientists, and you will see them as we carry on. The company has fairly low distributor investment. In fact, I have the courage to say that there is no investment, because when you put in money, you get products for those for the money you have put in. The more important investment is some of your time and a lot of your desire to change something about your life. And then the company has to have plans for international expansion. In Africa, we are in about 14 countries. The last country to open up, I believe, was Mozambique, and it is flying. Also, countries like Tanzania, Uganda, Kenya, Ghana, Cameroon, all those have a presence. So let me just carry on to tell you that health is very much like money. We never have a true idea of its value until we lose it. And that's so, so unfortunate. So I guess you are beginning to see that this company deals with both health and wealth, our finances. So let me carry on. Importantly, when it comes to nutrition, and specifically nutrition supplements, who can you trust? That is a very, very important question. We belong to a company that, as I said, has done a lot of research and development, and they have an ethic that everything has to be absolutely natural. But some research was done, and they found that between over a period of about 9 years, over 800 products in the place that they were doing this research that were marketed as dietary supplements actually contained hidden active ingredients that were unsafe or unstudied. And yet, a lot of people are using different nutrition products that are made like drugs. They're made on the pharmaceutical model, and they are not actually nutraceutical. They're not food-based. So we have a huge market, huge. And our purpose is to make the world healthier and happier. So here are our scientists. The Scientific Advisory Board was founded by Dr. Arthur First, who arrived at Neolife from his career as a top toxicologist and pharmacologist and cancer researcher. In fact, he was one of the pioneers of oral cancer treatment, and that excites me a lot because I am so sure that out of his work, we have now today got medications like antiretrovirals. I did explain that I spent a lot of time in HIV medicine. So those are our scientific advisory boards. You can see that we have technologists and research technologists, nutritionists, we have biochemists, we have everybody who are very notable in their fields, all PhD, and they have taught us in your life that to be healthy, we need to adhere to a few simple basics. The first one is physical activity and weight management. then our nutrition should comprise of whole grains. We should be eating lots of fruits and vegetables. We should be eating some protein, and that protein had better be the right protein. And we should eat some fats and sugars, and again, the correct fats and sugars, but not in huge quantities. Unfortunately, the typical lifestyle pyramid looks something like that, where people will travel by car and go and sit in an office and so hardly do any exercise. And we have seen it that people's weight management has been totally lost. And we are supposed to not eat so much fats and sugars, but our modern day diet comprises of way too much fats and sugars. And as regards whole grain that we're supposed to be getting enough of, we can't, because at the turn of the last century, food processing began, and obviously the first thing that they need to strip out of that are the oils, the essential oils that were placed there by our Creator for exactly the purpose of nourishing our cells, our cell membranes and other membranes within the cell. So we are at such a great disadvantage today in that we might be born 100% healthy at birth, okay? But I have bad news. I have seen babies. I have had occasion to work in pediatrics and a pediatric ICU and neonatal unit. We see babies that are born sick. And so ideally, we are supposed to be very energetic at birth and hopefully remain that way. But the truth of the matter is that people remain there for just a few years, if even that. And then they quickly start slipping into the tired zone. If you have teenagers or you know teenagers, you know that most of them are always tired. And then after that into the sick zone. So a lot of life is lost. This is the typical lifestyle. And people then get introduced to what we call chronic medications. Why? Because after a short while, lifestyle diseases set in. We call them non-communicable diseases or lifestyle diseases. And we have found a way of maintaining people for 20 to 50 years or even longer on chronic medications, or just hobbling along, hoping that by managing symptoms, things will change. Well, the bad news is until people get to know and really understand that health begins at a cellular level, and we need whole grain oils, which have been stripped out of our foods, we will continue with that poor, suboptimal life. And without health, which is our greatest wealth, we cannot create wealth, and therefore we cannot live happily. So yes, a lot of us are battling under the burden of unhealthy cells, and the answer is with this company called Neolife, which pioneered this through the research that was done many years ago. There's a wonderful history that all of you need to hear about, but I'll focus on presenting for this evening. So TreeNN is a phenomenal product in that it feeds us at the cellular level, and it is made of grain oils extracted from genetically, non-genetically modified, organically grown grain, namely wheat, rice, and soy. They put it in a capsule and it replaces what has been stripped out of the food. And the first thing that you notice on this product is that your hungry cells become very well fed and you become more energetic because the cells now allow nutrients in and waste matter to leave. Very, very crucial. And you see, I understood that when I first saw this opportunity, I actually went back to our biochemistry and physiology books that I had studied at medical school and corroborated that fact that yes, indeed, our cell membranes are made out of very specific essential fatty acids, which are the same biochemistry as what those grain oils provide us. And you can just imagine my excitement. So we are offered human natural nutrition, and we have a concept called core nutrition, which gives us more than just the grain oils. It gives us all 22 amino acids in protein that participate in human nutrition. And they also give us essential oils from fish called omega-3 salmon oil. There are other fish that are involved in this to give us a complete omega-3. This is the only company that gives you a complete omega-3 with all 8 molecules as nature would have it. And they test for all the toxins possible. As you know, fish are found in seas, which are highly polluted. So these fish are found from the cold, pristine waters, and then they test for all conceivable toxins. And then we have this amazing product called carotenoid complex. It took about 7 years or more to develop. A lot of research went into it, and they came up with a complex of carotenoids that have been shown to increase the body's immune capability by 37, actually more than 37% in a short time. In other words, if you can just conceptualize that our immune systems are very, very important. But if we are not maintaining them, giving them the right tools, they begin to decline, the immune system. And so this product can maintain the immune system and ensure that it doesn't decline. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the beginning of good health. You need to look after your immune system. So I am very, very excited about all these products, as well as vitamins and minerals. Now, again, vitamins and minerals sourced from food. So with those products, the few products that I've shown you, we have many, many others. We have quite a lot. You have everything that will take care of that wellness triangle that I showed at the beginning. And there you have it. But even if you start with just Tri-NM, and then maybe later on, as money becomes available, add the other products, you'll be doing very well for yourself. So we have variety, we have options, we have, because the company is so aware that people have different budgets, we even have a range for children. And I love that concept because, you know, good nutrition has to begin before the birth of anybody. And we have products for children that ensure that our children remain healthy because they are growing and they need to be healthy all the time. Then, those that I've shown you are the core nutrition. You can add targeted solutions for specific health needs. And many of you might be aware that diabetes is becoming increasingly problematic. It is actually one of those non-communicable diseases that is growing in prevalence. And it has a lot of complications. One of the complications of diabetes or poor blood sugar control, I would have you know, is cancer. So just in case you're wondering why there is a rising prevalence of cancer, it's because blood sugar control is really out of order. So we have products that are leading edge that can help with the control of the blood sugar levels. Very, very important. Now, let me just go back to my story. I was looking for cleaning products, and that is always quite surprising to people. My kids were small, and because of what I knew following my medical education, I did not want to medicate my children. Now, I just hope that there are no other doctors on the call. But hey, I hope there are other doctors on the call because you need to hear this. I didn't want to medicate my children. Why? Because I had actually been alarmed by the potential side effects of a lot of the drugs that we were being taught to prescribe. And I was also alarmed by the way we were being taught that, okay, when there is an allergy, it means that there's a deficiency in the body of certain chemicals called antihistamines and all that. So I had made a sport of reading side effects. And my distress was that the way the drugs work was running counter to the way God intended, the way we were created. So I went on a search. I started looking for cleaning products that would eliminate toxins from my home so that I wouldn't have to suffer with the hay fever and the eczema that my children were beginning to manifest, so that I wouldn't medicate the children. Okay, I hope you can see my train of thought. So I hunted, I chopped and changed and tried everything. And to my horror, nothing changed because everything seemed to be coming from the same source. Until somebody one day called and said, if I were to show you a way to make an extra income, would you have a look? I said, yes, I would, but is it legal? Okay, so he came, and the first thing he did was to establish that we actually had a dream. Then we went to a presentation as we were invited, and there was this display of products that were being described as non-toxic, 100% biodegradable and environment friendly. They were also very economical, that I would save money. And to me, that made so much sense because I thought to myself, hey, the first step in making money is saving it, saving money in the day-to-day lifestyle. And I realized I was wasting quite a lot of money buying products that I hated. So that was a bad combination for me. I'll talk about G1 as an example. It is our laundry compound, a brilliant product, very, very economical, very versatile as well. And I use it for both machine laundry washing, hand laundry washing, and in the dishwasher. And I feel comfortable that it does not destroy my gut bacteria, my gut microbiome, because they are very important. And by conserving water, conserving time, conserving the environment, and conserving my gut microbiome, I can live more healthily, and hopefully people around me likewise. So all those were the ways I was thinking, and I hope I can communicate that with you too. Then I went on a rampage after that and decided that I was going to become a 100% product user. We have a magnificent skin and personal care range. We also have an agricultural product called Super Grow, and many people in Africa are farmers, either subsistence or large scale. So Super Grow increases the water availability and reduces runoff of water and enables plants to actually source nutrients from deeper down in the ground, with the effect that you get good quality produce and much better nourishment for the plants. So that's just a snapshot of the product ranges, but now I want us to look at the money side of things. I think that's the more important thing for this evening. The New Life Way is, just to reiterate, a way to give everyone the power to live healthier and happier lives. And we have a set of foundation, a set of values, absolute integrity. And we always say people are number one. We have products that work. And we have an opportunity for everybody. Okay, let me just, it's an equal opportunity for everyone. And the long range vision is very, very important. You don't come here, and if you're serious about seeing any change, you don't say, I'll give it 2 months, and if it doesn't work, I'm out of here. You have to stay in it for the long haul. So I'm not embarrassed to say I've been in the business for over 25 years. It's actually, I think 28 or something like that. And I have seen the difference. Because when I started, I was in my 30s. I'm now in my 60s, and I have seen the difference. So we have quality products. These are the pillars that keep us standing without compromise. And it is the ultimate low-risk business startup. It is family owned, so you don't have to be afraid that somebody is going to come and swallow you up. When you come, you also become part of the family. So we are all treated as part of this family. And that is our vision, to end the trend of poor health and financial stress. And so this is our founder of Neolife. His name is Jerry Brasfield. I'll show you another picture of him a bit later on, but Neolife started in 1958, and then it came to South Africa in 1971 and spread to the rest of Africa in the 90s. And for the guests, I hope there are many of you, you're seeing it today. It's never too late. The first thing you need to ask yourself is, what hurts you? Why would you want to do this? Okay. At the time I saw it, had small children. I wanted them to get a stunning education. And indeed, out of Neolife, that happened. Then you might want to live in a beautiful home, the home of your dreams, drive a car of your dreams. You might love going on holiday. That picture reminds me of where we are about to go to and where we have been before, and that is Mauritius. You might just want to make extra money. And I think that is everybody. We shouldn't be shy to own now that we all could use more money, all of us. And then, of course, for the mothers on the call, how many of you would love to raise your own children and not to outsource your children to people, leave them with other people just because you need to go on a job? Yes, you can be freed from that and raise your own children. So you partner with Neolife, and now I'm going to show you how it works. As I've explained, it's in more than 50 countries. It's been around for over 60 years. We have stunning scientists. We have been published in world-class journals and research. And we have these ranges of products, the cleaning range that I've talked about, the personal care, an organic skincare range, the first, I think, on the African continent. I stand to be corrected, but it is an amazing range. And the biggest range is the Neolife Nutritionals. So what you need to do is to, okay, I may have, okay. Then we have a lot of travel, and I'll just go back to that later on. But what you need to do is to decide that you're going to partner with the company. I wanted to show you these pictures, but the order is a bit wrong. But these are people that I have traveled with. This is the CEO. This is Alta Bolton. You might recognize Miriam Kanakuria. That was on one of our trips. This is the founder, Jerry Brasfield. Again, you might recognize him. So what you need to do is to realize that you're not in business by yourself, but you are there for yourself. So the company takes care of the logistics, the distribution. They'll give you a website when you get started, and they take care of the finances and the IT. And what you need to do is share with other people. So you are there, you decide that you want to do this, and there are only 3 things to really remember. To use the product, in other words, move the money from wherever you are spending it currently and buy from yourself. And when you do that, we recommend that you do about $100 worth of shopping for yourself every month. You can do a lot more, but that's what it works out to for the payment plan to serve you. The next thing is to share the business opportunity. Okay? Let's say you have a few friends. You might start 3 people this month, and then because of your excitement, you start 3 more the following month, or you can start all of them. Each one does exactly like you, $100 worth or 100 points. Okay, we're in so many countries that we use our own currency called PV or point value. Now, if you have done that, there's 7 of you, that is 700 PV. You who started this little network will be paid, and I'll talk in Rand because I live in South Africa. I live in Durban, South Africa. You'll be paid about 700, and if you have sold some product, you could actually earn more than that. Still a small business. Then you show other people how to do exactly that. So let's take this example. You've shown this person to share with 2 people who will each share with 2 people in this example. So that's another 700 point unit. But because they're part of your network, altogether, that will be doubled, okay? So you literally double your income within a month, if you so wish. You first have to find those people who buy in. And then if you can do that for all of them, all these 6 in our example, you can have 6 people with a 700 point value business each. Everyone gets paid, but now everybody together create a business that we call a director size business. This is what everybody should be aiming for. And I want to say that we have a vision to create in everybody's network 3 director legs this year and next year. And can you imagine what it will do to the economy of your country where you're logged in from? Because if people are earning at least 10,000 Rand, which works out to about $500 or in Uganda shillings, I'm not sure, maybe 2 million Uganda shillings, you could change the economy of not only your household, but of your local community and the country at large. Now, some people will say, and I need you to remember, I said only about 22 people will say, yes, I'm all in. The other 80%, about 20% will say, I'm all in. About 80% will say, I want to use those products because they're going to change my life, right? So those are what we call customers. And you can turn a good customer into a product consumer. In other words, they too change their buying habits and buy from you. But your advantage is that you will make a profit. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of money to be made when you share the products with people. The next thing that I would encourage all of us to do, and this would change economies as well by changing mindsets, is to develop personal development. We belong to a team called the Eagle team, and yesterday we were so privileged to have both Charlie and Alta, the founders of the Eagle team, with us here in Durban. It was a lovely training event, and they are doing that all around the country, despite the fact that they themselves have been in the business for 50 years, and they don't really need to be doing this, but they do. Why? Because they are on a mission to make the world healthier and happier, and specifically to help us to develop our businesses. So the least we can do is get serious. Okay. So the Eagle team helps us with training, support, and personal development. So, in summary, everybody starts as a distributor. That's somebody who does at least 100 points. Then if you have 5 to 7 people and collectively you're doing 500 points at least, that is a manager as a group, then you can do at least 1,000 points, and you are introducing people all the time. That's a senior manager. I'll start at an executive manager where you're earning about $200 to $250 worth, or in South Africa, 5,000 Rand. That is a team that is doing 2,000 points, you and your team. But that is just a step away from director, where everybody should be aiming for. And there you start earning over 10,000 Rand, or about $500. Once you remain consistently qualified as somebody who's doing 4,000 points, you and your team, you are what we call an Emerald Director. And at the 3rd month, extra money kicks in. Can you see there's a difference between Director and Emerald? Then beyond that, you develop at least 1 or 2 directors, and you remain a director. Your team is growing. You are on the world team. And why is it called the world team? Well, that's where fun begins. That's where you start traveling internationally. And even that Emerald Director and Director, you can participate in quite a lot of activities that involve travel. But on the world team, you need to make sure that you have a passport so that you can go out of the country. And then hopefully we can all work towards President's team, where you're earning over $3,000. And there's so many more perks as one on the President's team. That is my dream. I'll be honest and let you know that that is where I want to be. I'm on the world team right now. So my husband and I have traveled to various places. The pictures I showed you were most recently to Turkey. But we are looking forward to going to Mauritius, and we've been to a lot of other places as well. So what is all this about? How many of you seriously want to make a change? Okay. I just want you to know that if you do what you have always done, you will get what you have always got. But to change, you need to do today what others won't. And what won't others do? Others won't change their brands. They won't change their shopping habits. They won't even dream big enough to say, I want to make a big change so that the world is healthier and happier. Okay? So you need to do today what others won't, so that you can do tomorrow what others can't. So your next step is, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are looking at it for the first time, turn to the person who has invited you. Tell them that you seriously want to get started. They'll give you a form, or there are electronic ways of doing it. But, you know, I think we need to build relationships and get into the same space, so that if you haven't understood something, ask and it will be explained to you. Then fill in the application form. There's a small registration fee, and I want to say it again. you get product for it. So really, it is something that you will benefit from right from the beginning. And tell them that, yes, help me. Help me to make a success of this. Work with me. I have so many people I want to share this with because it's a good opportunity. Just tell them. And we are waiting to welcome you to the family. Remember, these are my two role models. You've seen me show a picture of Jerry Brasfield and Charlie Bolton that we were with yesterday evening. We were privileged once upon a time, and we often get that privilege to have them both in the same room. So all they keep telling us is that use the product, share the opportunity and the products, and become a better version of yourself, because your income can only grow to the extent that you grow. So I just want to close by giving you 5 reasons to be a distributor. They're really compelling, I think. They will be personal development. They will be health. You cannot, and I'm speaking in my capacity as a doctor, a medical doctor. I've been in the medical profession for 39 years. It's almost 40. Please, guys, you won't be able to buy your health back if you don't invest a little bit into it on a daily basis, starting now, okay? So that is what you'll get. And you will have an opportunity to change not only your own life, but the lives of others. There's so many perks. You need some extra money, don't you? Well, you'll get it here. And importantly, it will give you a sense of purpose. Now, we are looking for the youth. I personally want to address this to the youth. Anybody who feels young at heart is, to me, a youth. And it is high time for us to shake ourselves up this year, 2024, and say, we are going to make a difference. Okay, so those are our values again: absolute integrity. People are number 1. Products that work. It's an equal opportunity for all. And please, if you come with us, we are on a fast-moving train, but with a long-range vision. And we are that family on a mission. So this is the question: what will you do with your near life? Welcome to the family. Turn to the person who's invited you and say, when can I start and where do I start? And they will walk you through a plan. If you don't have the money now and can put down a deposit, that is good. We'll work with you as though you have started. And you can actually earn the rest of the money from working to share near life with other people. Thank you very much for being here, and I want to hand back to Andrew. Thank you. I want to stop sharing.